Working on finding the chat, folks. Give me a second. Can't find the chat. There it is. Bum, 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 bum. Sitting in chaos. You can see I've got dumpster goods I've yet to donate behind me. It's just been one of those weeks. Mute. There's all of 1 people here. That's exciting. Dumpster snacks. The wife hiding over here in the corner. These CVS brand knockoff Gardettos. The pretzels are better than the actual Gardettos. If you ask me.
It just popped up that you were live.
Anyway. So, what's up, fuckers? What's up, Susan Ferguson? Stephanie Williams, the fan. What's up? Hey, little nobody's here. Awesome. Sorry I missed your basketball practice tonight. I will be at your game in the morning. I promise.
I'm not having a look.
What are you trying to do on your phone that ain't working?
It's just the phone.
What's up, Jamie Austin and Michelle Maples? So I'm over here eating some dumpster snacks. Getting ready for major surgery. Well, that sucks. You've got my condolences. Yeah, dumpster snacks good. Yeah, little nobody is here. She's not here, but she's here in the chat. We're gonna go. We're gonna go dumpster diving tomorrow after. Little nobody got a basketball game tomorrow, and yeah. She's got a basketball game tomorrow at 11, and after the basketball game gets over at like, I don't know, noon, 12:30, could be 3 o'clock depending on the referees. Alright, Bobby, I'm glad you got a postcard. That's awesome. But now, we're going to leave out of, I have to have a clamp put in my valve. I have no idea. Whatever that is sounds fucking treacherous. But yeah, no. After we leave Little Nobody's basketball game tomorrow, we're going to come down, and the way that it works is we'll come down the highway and we'll take the Cosgrove exit and we'll hit the Dookie dumpster. Let's see. Hello, I love to watch you because you make my day and you also make me laugh. Well, really not that funny, but, you know. How are you even still alive if you have a valve in your heart that's leaking? And I don't mean any disrespect asking you that, but like, you had to have already had surgery on your heart. And then there's a valve that's leaking, so you have internal bleeding. Like, how? Like RoboCop. Oh my God. Yeah, how's that even a thing? I don't know. Brain surgery, who? I'm surrounded by the Walking Dead. 32 different meds a day. I don't even think I could eat 30. I don't even think I could eat 32 different foods in a day. Good God. How do you keep track? I'll tell you what. Miss 32 meds a day. If you inbox my mail with your address, which I probably already have it, I can't keep track of everybody. I'll send you that thing. That's a 7-day pill organizer. That may perhaps, if you're taking 32 pills a day, that's going to fill the entire 7 days. Good Lord. That's a lot of medication. Yeah, I am who I am. And nobody can change that. You know what? I found that in a CVS trash can. And like I thought my wife might use it, but it's been almost a week. Good God, with these medications. I don't take any pills ever. I take blue pills because I've got a fucked up stomach, which is Imodium. That may be way more information than the channel's looking to find out, but trying a face mask. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, no, I got your address. I'll send it. If somebody can figure out the face mask you can actually put on your face and peel that pulls the blackheads out, I would be eternally thankful, especially in my daughter's case. I've got anxiety and panic attacks too, but the sooner you realize that it doesn't matter what anybody in the world around you thinks, all that shit goes away. Sorry, I'm having some goobers too. Goobers. Yeah, goobers. These came from our last dumpster find, which you can see all that stuff behind my head that we got from the last one. Both the weather and the work schedule hasn't been cooperative, and I'm not going to go out and get more. Pinky Poppy, we're going to plead the fifth because we can. Damn it, kid, I don't want to hear that. Her mother thinks she has ADD. She's dyslexic. Anyway. Oh, that Whitman sampler is still properly full. Let's see. Now, she doesn't mind the indoor smoke, and we don't smoke when the kids here. Anyway, Stephanie Williams says that my wife is beautiful. Ass in the ER.
Thank you. I'm having technical difficulties with my electronic device.
And I've been having technical difficulties. Goobers are chocolate-covered peanuts. So I'm going to put some ass in the ER on one of these fantabulous rye chips. Oh, man. Not tonight. The only time she ends up in a shot is by mistake. Alright, Jamie. Fair enough. At some point, you got to make the decision to come out of your shell, though. And you want to have to do it for yourself. I've got the huge box of chocolates. Yeah. Little nobody. Hot sauce. you guys can't really see the wife on the camera. And it's sad, the state of affairs that things have gotten. She's got like a master's degree and the most educated woman I've ever met in my life. Okay? She works within a group of people, and within that group of people, social media is strictly prohibited. And the social media is strictly prohibited because coaches can't keep their shit in their pants.
People. We'll leave it at people.
Hmm?
We'll leave it at people.
People, coaches, whatever it is. They can't keep it in their pants, so... And I might even...
Aw, thank you, little nobody.
Yeah, that's a problem. Like, people can't not poke people, so they can't be on social media. Otherwise, she'll get fired. And we don't need that. Ever at all. Earth goddess, or the pressure will get too high on my brain. I don't even know what the hell that means, but okay. Well, we've got the air conditioning on in our house at the moment. Because like 5 days ago, I was riding a go-kart in the snow. And if you guys could give little nobody hell about the fact that I built her a go-kart and she doesn't want to ride it because it's the wrong season.
But it was good weather then.
It was better weather then. I went out and rode that thing in the snow, and tell me that wasn't fun. The kid doesn't want to ride the go-kart.
Even the missus rode in the snow.
Everybody in my neighborhood rode the go-kart.
People we didn't know.
Yeah, people I didn't even know that I come to find out later was like some 14-year-old girl that I thought was a full-grown woman, and I was like, wow, I totally feel like a creep. But yeah. Mary, you have a heart of gold, don't let anyone steal your thunder. Yeah, that thing is so fun. And the kid doesn't want to ride it. I feel bad for the kid that she doesn't even want to ride it. Like, you have no idea how much fun. Ah. We have a NASCAR. It is 9:12 p.m. here. Yeah, Michelle Maples. Ride the go-kart, little nobody. Just get on it and go fast. That's all you gotta do. Just get on it and press the gas. It took me several days after riding it to get rid of my bruises, but all of my bruises were worth every last second of riding that thing. So Michelle Maples is in Central Time. Alright, but wait. Let's see. The cost of living in South Carolina is reasonable. I mean, the housing cost is through the roof. Don't get me wrong. Like if I tried to move out of the place that I've been in that the landlord doesn't raise the rent.
Knock on wood.
Knock on wood, yeah. I couldn't afford to live in the area that I live in. But I can go to the grocery store and buy chicken for like 37 cents because it was put in a package yesterday. I mean, food costs here are They are rock bottom. They are of the cheapest that I've ever seen. But housing sucks. Cable and internet prices suck. Well, Jerry, if you wanted to rent a one-bedroom apartment that was built within the last, say, 10 years, yeah, little nobody. If you wanted to rent a one-bedroom apartment that was made in the last 10 years, you couldn't expect to pay less than probably like $1,600 a month for a one-bedroom apartment. If you wanted to rent a three-bedroom house that had been remodeled at some point in the last 5 years, probably $2,800 a month. Now, if you wanted to rent a house with a garage, you're probably looking at like $3,500 a month, and that's no exaggeration, no joke. In the neighborhood that I live in, which is the most
blessed.
We are blessed. We are living in a neighborhood that everybody in Charleston wants to live in. To find a empty lot that's like 40 by 40, if you wanted to buy it, would probably cost you $350,000.
Why are there white lights showing up on your chest on my phone? Do you see them?
Perhaps it's the...
No.
I don't know.
I wasn't doing it before.
Yeah, well, welcome to Charleston, Stephanie Williams. You can't buy a lot in this neighborhood for probably less than... I mean, you might find one that's got a falling down house for like $300. Otherwise, no. But what the fuck is in Williams? Oh, I'm sorry, I've read that wrong. I'm sorry. Edgemore. What? What is in Edgemore is the thing. 30 miles south of Charlotte, but I mean, the city of Charlotte, in the country, yeah, I'm across like a handful of bridges and around a corner and around the way, and I'm like a block and a half from a river on an island, you know, somewhere in the South Atlantic, like, and it is exquisitely nice where I live. Excuse me, but it's not an area that I would ever. You live in a mobile home with no furnace and it's 17 degrees outside.
Wow.
Might I suggest you light it on fire to keep yourself warm? It'll burn for about 20 minutes. Jesus. So many different people from so many different walks of life. There's the cough that made the woman famous. Well, I mean, where I'm at, I am a renter, but I've been renting here for, it hasn't been a decade, but it's been more than half a decade that I've been where I'm renting. And if it wasn't for the fact that like when I found this place, it was hoarded from floor to ceiling. The landlord's a hoarder. And it was like just stacks of boards and sticks and dressers that were missing drawers. I mean, I had to spend a week the famous cough. I think I saw about your first dumpster. I had to clean the place out, and it took me a week to clean this place out and paint the majority of it and just sanitize it, like mop the floors like 15 times. And yeah, it was way better than where we used to live. But it was still a step down from where we were at when little Nobody's mother and I were living together. We won't talk about that though. If I'm not mistaken, there's some sort of a
Yes.
court order that says I can't talk about that in the presence of the child, and when the child is in the chat, it just means I can't talk about it. Well, the house across the street from me has 5 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms. It has an acre lot that goes from stop sign to stop sign. The lot takes the entire block. And 6 years ago, when the guy bought that house, before he probably spent $1 million remodeling it, he only paid like 400 grand for it. At this point, it's probably like a $2 million house. Snake came out of the shower. I'm in South Carolina, Jerry. All those Harley shirts are in the washing machine. Yeah, somebody had a snake come out of their shower wall.
You were talking about a snake in the fire when you were a kid? The elementary school?
I was. There was a, when I was in like the 3rd grade, they had a fire in the 5th grade classroom. And, you know, somebody broke out the windows and just set the place on fire, burned it out. And it took them about a year to clean it out. And a couple of years passed. I had switched to a different school and came back to that school. The classroom snake had been living in that classroom for almost 2 years after the fire, somewhere. And it came out and they found it, like, because after the original fire, the snake was nowhere. They just assumed that it had burned up. But yeah, that snake lived in like the leg of somebody's desk for 2 years before it decided to come back out. That was weird.
What does Susan Ferguson do for a living, if we may ask? Sorry.
The wife wants to know what Susan Ferguson does for a living, if we may ask. Yeah, little nobody. I was your age when that snake resurfaced. And it had been gone for like 2 years. Chihuahuas help. Clean houses and... Yeah, well... You do what I do indoors.
Your work.
I oftentimes see what I do as being the yard janitor. Because you go down to Folly Beach, where the majority of my work is at, and there's just like tampon applicators. And... Oh, it's a blast that nobody ever wants to deal with. There's beer cans, there's condom wrappers, there's tampon applicators, there's needles. You know, it's a good time, said nobody ever. I wouldn't try to stay at a hotel in South Carolina. If you're going to try to stay in a hotel in South Carolina, you're gonna have to pay like $300 to $400 a night to get somewhere that isn't gonna give you bed bugs or herpes. What's up, Pro Retro Hunter? Saskatchewan, or as I like to refer to it, Saskatchewan. I watch way too much Trailer Park Boys though. Now, if you try to get any hotel in the South Carolina area that's like $79, you're going to catch something. You're going to leave with, yeah.
Richburg?
I have no idea where Richburg is. I eat the chicken stuff. All right. It's quite tasty. However, you can only eat it so many days in a row before it gets boring.
Kids here.
I hate South Carolina. If I had to be honest, Claire, Jerry, excuse me. The only reason I am still in South Carolina is because my daughter is in South Carolina. And wherever my daughter is, I will always be where my daughter is. Now, when she turns 18 and she has the wherewithal to decide that she wants to leave her mother's house, and we decide to disappear to somewhere like Scotland or, I don't know, South Italy, we're going to disappear. But for the moment, my kid is 10, almost 11, and she lives here. So I will live here in South Carolina, or wherever it is her mother ventures to, whether it be back at Baltimore or somewhere in Florida or whatever. I will always be where my child is at, because my child is the most important person in my life. I love my wife to death, but if I had to choose between them, sorry dear, fuck you. My little girl is more important to me than my wife. South Carolina, USA. We're above Georgia, above Florida, below North Carolina, kind of sort of next to Tennessee.
East Coast.
East Coast.
But yay for Miss Michelle. She's going to go see Kid Rock.
I didn't see that Michelle was going to see Kid Rock. Okay.
In Nashville.
Well, the thing about my daughter, and I will disclose this, okay, and she's here watching, Myrtle Beach sucks, man. Myrtle Beach is like the dirtiest fucking urinal on the planet. It's like the New York City subway system. The thing about my daughter is that I never planned to have children. I never planned to have children in my life. And then her daughter, or her mother, got pregnant. And it was at that point, I was like 24, I think. Yeah, I was 24 because I turned 25 shortly after she was born. I never planned on having any children. I never really even wanted to have kids. But I tell you what, that little girl was made, and that little girl didn't choose who her parents were. I just knew that that little girl needed to have both of her parents in her life. And that's hard to talk about. That's hard to discuss. But it's like, that kid didn't choose. Like, she may end up with a stepdad. She may end up with a stepmom. She may end up with this. She may end up with that. But guess what? That kid deserves to have both of her parents in her life. And that's why I will follow her. If she's one of those people that wants to get on a spaceship and go to Mars, I mean, we're at that point in civilization that, like, if people want to go to Mars, they're not going to come back. They're going to go to Mars to die, to try to populate Mars, to build things. If she wanted to go to Mars, I would follow her to Mars and die on Mars for her. That's whatever it is. I mean, meow.
Well, everybody's saying hi to Kitty.
Yeah, well, there's Kitty. Hey, when did you come over here? Now, I would follow. I would follow little nobody anywhere she wanted to go. And when she gets old enough to make her own decisions, perhaps she'll follow me to places that I want to go. Like I want to explore Europe. I want to get into like the most violent, unsafe portions of Eastern Europe. And I want to go to Southeast Asia. I probably can't go to Australia, if I'm honest. I'd probably have to apply for a permit to go to Australia. Because I've been to jail for a few things, and they don't let you in when you've been to jail. However, as funny as it is that they won't let you in to, well, I'd like to go to Alaska too, anywhere. At one point, it was a prerequisite to get into Australia that you had to be a criminal. That's funny. Now they won't let you in. I mean, like, I like to think I'm a relatively square individual. I've done some shit in my past, but I've been relatively on the straight and narrow since I met my wife. Ain't been to jail or anything like that, but if you guys don't mind, I'm gonna pee real quick, and you'll probably hear that on the audio. Just watch Kitty.
Think she heard you, little nobody. She held her head up for you. Claire said, my dog is trying to get Kitty off the screen.
I don't know what to tell you. Sorry. I had to take a pit stop. Earth Goddess has 6 cats. And I mean no disrespect, Earth Goddess, but I would imagine that everybody you know in life can smell the fact that you have 6 cats. Back for the final lap. Yeah, no, it's not a final lap. We're going for the green-white checker. Thank you and your lovely wife and little nobody for the postcard, said Alexis Brown. You want to know what's funny? My shitbag neighbors that live over here, the lady is named Candace Brown, but she has a daughter named Alexis. And it was funny that, like, when I went to put Alexis Brown on a postcard in the mailbox, I really hoped that my neighbors didn't see that and think that I was sending a postcard to their daughter.
Tips on decals.
Decals. Well, I could do a whole tutorial about decals. But something you have to understand about decals is you have to be very patient. You try to have a wide space to put it in, keep both sides down, and kind of move it around with your fingers. But something else you also have to, well, they do rip, but I'll tell you what, decals that have been made in the last 20 years don't rip like the decals that were made in the 80s. They're different now. They're made out of a different material. You just...
Does that slip stuff help at all?
It doesn't. I'll make a video about that, or perhaps I could even show you. However, I do have a model on my table here that I'm going to walk around the other side with. Yeah, I will do a tutorial on decals. So we got this thing. This is a, like, oh, I don't know, 68, 69 Chevelle station wagon model that I built. That's got like faux patina on the grill. It has a fully wired, if it'll come into focus.
That is rad. I love it.
Let's see if it'll come into focus. I can't get it to focus. But that's a fully wired Hemi with Hillborn injection. It's got white wall slicks on the back of it. Well, it depends. You can find a...
Do you have Ollie's?
Yeah, if you got an Ollie's, they're like $7.99 at Ollie's. You can find them on clearance for like $6. Actually, I've got one that I opened that I put on my desk the other day. That I want to say I paid like $3 for on clearance at Hobby Lobby.
Plus their coupons.
I mean, well, you can't use the coupon with the clearance, but I'll make a tutorial on decals. There might even actually, well, now the last tutorial that I did, yeah, Hobby Lobby has models. The last tutorial I did on decals, I actually uploaded to Facebook on my profile. So if anybody wants to dig really fucking deep on my Facebook profile, they can find that. And I tagged Aaron Miller in it. But now, regular retail on a model kit anymore, you can expect to spend about like $40, which is terrible. I remember buying them for like $3.99 when I was a kid, and perhaps that dates me. Now, I'll make a video about decals. Go to Ollie's. You'll get models for $7.99. Go look in the scratch and dent section, they're $3.99. But they're generally shitty models that you don't want to build is the problem. Anything that's made by Round 2, Round 2 is... I'm 35, Michelle. Round 2 is AMT, MPC. That shit's all made in China. It doesn't glue together right. It doesn't paint right. It doesn't... You want to see... hold on. I will show you a kit that I built, excuse me, that had the most complicated decals of any kit that I've ever built. I've got a couple of them. Actually, you know what? Here, hold on. There's that right there, which is a good starter kit. Lindbergh 37 Ford is a good starter kit. I've got this one in a case. This is the Jim Cushman. Well, so much for that one. happy late birthday, Michelle Maples. Now this, I gotta set stuff down, is a Jim Cushman 75 Plymouth Duster that I built. I mean, you can see, like, come on, focus. Pull back out. I painted the letters on the tires, but it's got like decals on decals on decals, and then the hood is a nightmare to try to get off. But it didn't have a whole lot of detail, but it was still really a pain in the ass to build. Let's see. There's a Dodge Charger I built. Let's see. Move the airplane. Hey, look, there's a horse that little nobody built. That is actually a Revell Blaze King from 1961. Little nobody built. But then there's this. I've got so many really cool cars. Like, I've got my Murder Dart. That is a twin turbo, twin blower, nitrous injected Dart. That's a Color Me Bad that I built. Now, okay, so we get down here. This is a newer release Revell the 57 Ford. Mr. Nobody was in his late 20s. Yeah, well, not a chance. This comes as, you can build it as a gasser, you can build it as a stock wagon, or you can build it as a police car. Oh, come on. Focus. And again, little nobody, you need a better profile picture. Okay, so you can see that, like, the coil is done, but that's a whole bunch of decals. That's a decal, that's a decal, that's a decal. The black decal that goes between the chrome strips, that's a decal, like, but then you flip it over. And I know that it won't pick up in this video. Well, that model horse was from 1961. But you can see if you look at the 40 years, and you can see the brake lines and the fuel lines are fully detailed. It's got the straight axle underneath of it. Like, that thing is one of the best things I ever built. But wait, there's more. Here's a 32 Ford that little nobody built. She built that when she was 7. So I built a 32 Ford coupe to go with it. And then she also built this red 37 Ford, which was her first kit. I mean, that was little nobody built that when she was maybe 6. Which is why I say 37 Ford. Because little nobody built that when she was like 6. Oh, but the collection goes on. There's a Johann 60 Plymouth wagon. A black Generally, a little red wagon. There's the Roadkill Jeep, Richard Petty car. Little Nobody built that red one in the back. That is a Bob Glidden kit. There's lots of stuff, man. Well, in order to get your hands steady, you have to use two hands at the same time. Anyway.
Someone was asking about Holden's. Is there the car or a brand?
The fucking Holden Ute. I don't know of anything other than a Holden. Michelle Maples, you got no idea. You should see the kits I have upstairs that are not built.
You should tell her what you told me.
About what?
When you started building. How you were like, I'm warning you.
Yeah, well, that did happen. When we opened up that can of worms that before I started building again. What's up, Vicky? And I told her, like, you're you have no idea what you're in for. This can of worms that you're going to open up. Hi back, little nobody. That one FOM. Darlington, West Virginia.
Or Washington.
Washington. Oh, Darrington, Washington. I'm sorry. At one point, I used to live in Aberdeen. And it's still the same, kid.
Let me go out and come back in and see what she's got.
Oh, and here we go down this road of terribleness. The Mad Dog 357. This may actually close out the video. Spokane, Washington. The car I showed yesterday. I don't think I showed any cars yesterday.
But you had one recently.
I don't know. Oh, and there's that oh so familiar flavor. It never gets any better. Are you, Ark? Oh my God. What is it that you want to buy from me, Stephanie? And the podcast may happen tomorrow, but it may happen like next Wednesday. The weather we've had lately, Bubbles and I are on schedules we can't. The Johan, yeah, the Johan wagon.
All right, so now she has a dog and some dolls. Much better.
The next dive is tomorrow, hands down. Oh my God. I forgot how shitty that stuff is. Fuck. Kitty, do you want some hot sauce? It rains all the time here. It rains more in the summer than it does in the winter, though. Let's just see.
Did she get it on her nose?
I think so. Whew. bowel problems. All right. I've been here for about an hour. I think I need to throw this stuff in the garbage, to be honest with you. Whew. Well, unless you're going to eat it, kid, I'm throwing it away. I've had my fair share of the $17 it cost. I'll put it in the fridge then, Ms. Williams.
Oh, okay.
All right. That's it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. You got about an hour to catch up on Sherry, and it's over for the moment. I love you, kid. Thanks for being here. Like, share, subscribe. Blah, 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 blah. I'll see you at your basketball in the morning, kid. Peace out, Girl Scout.